Welcome to Grand Prairie Update. I'm Terry Briggs.
And I'm Don Johnson. Here's what's happening in your city. Like the rest of the country, Grand Prairie is taking time to mark the 10th anniversary of the 9/11 attacks.
One nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
First United Methodist Church offered an uplifting musical tribute.
Where were you when the world stopped turning?
There were spiritual songs to remember those who lost their lives on that day. There were patriotic songs to honor the men and women who continue to serve in the military and work as first responders. And there were words of encouragement.
10 years later, in 2011, proud Americans across our country and throughout the state of Texas remember what we learned on that terrible day. We learned that adversity brings out the best in us. We learned that terrorists can take lives and knock down buildings, but they cannot destroy what makes America the greatest nation on earth.
Tomorrow, on September 12th, we celebrate the 10th anniversary of surviving. Go in peace.
Not far from the church, local police and firefighters were playing America's favorite pastime as their way to remember 9/11.
You know, back then a lot of things happened and it brought us guys closer together, and getting out here and having a little camaraderie is always fun.
Well, I think it means more. It's for those guys who sacrificed everything they had and to give their lives on September 11th. And this is just kind of a way to remember those guys.
The message delivered loud and clear on this day in Grand Prairie was one of hope and perseverance for America.
As we sing together, sweet freedom song.
Remembering 9/11 was also the theme at Quick Trip Park this weekend as the Grand Prairie AirHogs hosted their first Championship Series home game in 3 years against the St. Paul Saints. The AirHogs offered free admission and food and drink specials to police, fire, and military personnel who came to see the team try and extend their best-of-5 final series after they fell into a must-win 0-2 hole in Minnesota. But thanks to 3 RBIs by first baseman John Alonso, which included a home run and a walk-off RBI single to break a 2-2 tie in the bottom of the 11th inning in Game 3, the AirHogs guaranteed that they would still be playing on September 11th. On Sunday afternoon, the series still stood at 2-1 in favor of St. Paul. But second baseman David Espinoza, an AirHog since day one of the team's existence, hit 2 home runs and plated 7 RBIs to send the league championship series to a deciding Game 5. The AirHogs are scheduled to play for the American Association Championship at 7:05 Monday, September 12th at Quick Trip Park. For tickets or information, call 972-504-9383 or go to airhogsbaseball.com.
The Grand Prairie City Council is making changes to the voting map by authorizing new boundaries for council districts. The current boundaries no longer provide equal representation because of population changes. So, the city is required by federal law to create a redistricting map that compensates for the changes without diluting minority representation. The new map was recommended by a committee of citizens and public officials and reviewed during 2 public hearings. The council did briefly review an alternate map, but eventually rejected it.
The local community had come up with a slightly different proposal called Plan B, which adjusted some of the boundaries down in the Westchester area to try to be more inclusive of Westchester residents. The council looked at that, gave it a great deal of consideration, but decided ultimately to go with the Plan A because it followed major roads. In this particular case, Robinson Road. It was a more appropriate dividing line.
The map and supporting documents now go to the U.S. Department of Justice for review. Officials hope to get final approval in time for the May 2012 election. Stage 2 watering restrictions are now in effect for Grand Prairie because of the ongoing heat wave and drought. Here's how the restrictions affect landscape watering. Even-numbered addresses are allowed to water on Monday and Thursday between 6 p.m. and 10 a.m. Odd-numbered addresses are allowed to water on Tuesday and Friday between 6 p.m. and 10 a.m. There is no watering allowed on Wednesday, Saturday, and Sunday.
Well, we hope people will voluntarily comply with the restrictions. There is an ordinance in place, however, and code enforcement does have the authority to enforce the restrictions. But in the past, most people have complied voluntarily, and we're certainly hoping that will be the case this time, and we believe that will be the case.
Grand Prairie buys most of its water from Dallas and Fort Worth. A very small amount comes from city-owned wells. This week, customers set an all-time daily consumption record of 47 million gallons. Officials say the new watering restrictions are designed to prevent the city from signing an expensive, long-term contract to buy more water. If you want more information about the watering restrictions, go to the city's website or call Public Works.
That's it for this edition of Grand Prairie Update.
Remember, you can watch all of our Channel 16 programs by going online at gptx.org/GPTV.